Can I call myself the problem child part 2? Like Jake Paul, but I'm like the female version, because honestly, I have so many problems, it troubles me. Here we are again talking about another set of my issues. It's like, where do they keep coming from? I don't know. I've done a few stories just to break it up, but it's like, oh, let's talk about Dawn's problems again. The thing is, I want this podcast to help people, you know? So I feel like I need to explain my problems, describe my problems, talk about my problems in order for you guys to get some kind of problem healing for yourselves. That's better. There was some kind of like green circle on my face, square, which I was really not vibing. Anyway, today we're talking about avoidance. Why do I have so many problems? Cried the young girl. I don't know. Maybe you were born with it. No, I don't think so. I think it's actually years of poorly learned habits and behaviour. It's time to unlearn that behaviour, guys. Let's go. By the way, I'm also in a different zone today. I'm in my living room. Ooh. Check it out, although you can't actually see most of it. Tom is revising for an exam, and I literally, he's the room that I podcast in and the room that he is in is next, like they are completely like wall to wall, like next to each other, and you can hear almost everything that goes on in corresponding rooms. I just can't handle it. I need to be on my own for podcasting unless I'm having a conversation with somebody. I don't know what it is. It's me avoiding my problems. Yeah, I'm trying to get over it, but it's taking a long time. And today we're talking about getting over our problems. No, we're not. Sorry. How to stop avoiding our problems. I don't know where that sentence came from. It literally just came out of me and it was the wrong sentence. Today we're talking about how to stop avoiding our problems. Now, I'd like to point out that there is a difference between avoiding, which I see as a very malignant trait, and procrastination, which I kind of see as a bit less malignant, a bit more benign, a bit more like, like, oh, I'm procrastinating. But maybe that's just my own perception of it. I don't know that there's a significant difference, but this is my definition of the difference. Yes, I am now Dictionary Dawn. I would say they are very similar, okay? Don't get me wrong. Very, very similar. But procrastination, I would say, is more trivial. It's like, oh, I'm procrastinating doing the washing up because I can't be asked to do it. You leave it until the last minute. You leave it until all the plates are gone and you literally can't cope any longer. Like, you need a fucking plate. Otherwise, what are you eating from? Who knows? Probably the saucepan. Gal's done that before. You can also have procrastination and avoidance together, I would say. Because I would say I have both. I have a lot of problems. I am problem child part 2. But what are you going to do? We've all got problems, haven't we? The human race confuses me. It very much does. I would say procrastination, you don't want to do things because it's boring or less desirable than doing other things. I would also say that procrastination, this one just came to me just in a little spark of like creativity right now, so you're getting full improvisation here. I would say that procrastination is, oh my god, I've literally completely forgotten what I was going to say. This is really troubling. I literally completely forgot what I just said. I just went back and listened to what I just said and I still don't know what I was going to say. This is my brain, okay? I'm telling you, it's my brain. I think it might come back to me though, you know, I'll just keep talking, and this is the shittest introduction to an episode ever. I'm so sorry. I'm bouncing all over the place, but look, we're going to roll with it. I could restart it, but I want you to experience the full vibes of Dawn Brain here. Unfortunately, this is my brain. This is how it works. It's all over the place. If I don't write shit down, it's gone. Like, instantly. If you feel me, then give me a like. I don't know. Give me a fucking, yeah, feel you, girl. All right, let's talk about avoidance. That's really fucking bugging me that I can't remember what I just said or was going to say, because it felt like a real pearl of wisdom, like it really did. And I am heavily troubled that I can't remember it. Anyway, avoidance, I would say, is driven significantly by anxiety. Do I have anxiety? Yes, I fucking do. Who knew? Me? And you, probably. If you've been listening to this for a while, you'll know. You'll know that I have anxiety. I don't show it very well. I'm a very cool cucumber on the external surface. But I don't have anxiety all the time, though. Let's be honest. Like, not many people, some people do actually. I did when I was younger, and then I have found ways of healing. So that's why I do this podcast, to reveal my healing ways. For me, my anxiety when it comes to avoidance is like being, and I said this to Tom earlier, Boyf, I said it's like being penetrated in my chest by a spear and twisting it around. Like, that is how it feels. Not like a pain. I don't get a pain. I'm just like, like, it really makes me feel fucking uncomfortable. And I would say that probably being penetrated and twisted by a spear would be more than just uncomfortable. But that's how it feels. Like, I feel like, I don't know how to explain it except that I'm being penetrated by a spear, but without pain. Like, I'm not having a heart attack. But yeah, I will only do things. In fact, I would say that with my avoidance issues, I specifically try to just literally blank them from my brain. It's like they don't exist in the world. It's like, goodbye, bye. Even though I know it's still in the back of my brain and it causes me anxiety every day. Would my anxiety be significantly better if I didn't avoid things? Yes, I think it probably would. But do I continue to do it? Yeah, because it's like a learned behaviour. It's a habit that I've got that I can't seem to break. But I'm trying, and I'm going to try and do something tonight. I'm going to tell you a little bit in a minute, my story that I've been avoiding, basically. A story of a situation I've been avoiding. I've got many of them. So I had lots to choose from, and we're going to talk about it and how I'm going to try and overcome avoiding it, because it's been causing me significant anxiety for probably about like 2 weeks, and oh dear, the reflux is bad today. Oh, if you don't know, by the way, I'm on I recently switched from Saxenda to Ozempic. And not that anyone would know that, but if you follow my stuff, then you'll know that I was on Saxenda. Anyway, I switched to Ozempic, and I've just gone up a dose today. Was it today or was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And the reflux is hitting me hard. I almost threw up when I was working out earlier. It was bad. So I'm sorry if I burp a lot. It's not me, it's the medicines. I can't help it. I'm not trying. I try to avoid making significant noise, but it happens. And my chest is burning right now. So with my avoidance issues, I will only do the thing that I'm avoiding if there are consequences, which there often are. There are often consequences to what I'm avoiding, like, okay, we'll get into them in a minute, or I'll only do it if somebody's literally forcing me to, or if it comes to like a head, and it's like, oh fuck, I really have to do it now. Like, I've been avoiding it for 3 months and now I can't avoid it any longer. Also, I would say procrastination is like, oh, I just don't really want to do it. But avoidance is more like, I feel severely anxious by even thinking or attempting to do this activity. I think I've had this all my life. I am like a fucking ostrich with my head buried in the sand. Like, it's a real problem of mine. I have many areas of my life that I'm currently avoiding. So yeah, I think my life would be better if I didn't avoid them, because they would just be done. But alas, we're here still. I would say it shuts me down, and like I already said, I just block it from my mind. I'm like, goodbye, task. What? I think it can be quite serious. Like, for example, this has not happened to me, but because I've never had like a severe medical condition, but there are people who will avoid going to the doctor because they have severe anxiety of that the doctor is going to say you've got something wrong with you, like cancer, for example. Because I'm thinking of this one guy in particular who came in, I fucking shit you not, the same colour as my top, which is white. White, pure white, like paper white. He was so white, I was like, he looks like Casper the Ghost. Like, he was so white. And like, I am white by ethnicity. No, he was like a white man that was fully white. Like, not an albino, like white, because he had no blood in him. And the reason why he had no blood in him was because for months he'd been like losing weight and getting really anemic, which is why he looked white, and he'd been like just really like not feeling great, blah blah blah, having symptoms, but kind of thinking in the back of my head like, God, this isn't good, but avoiding it, not being like, oh yeah, I'll do it tomorrow, like procrastinating it. Not like, oh yeah, I've just put it off. No, he was like, no, I'm like really, like subconsciously, he wasn't maybe actively thinking this. I didn't specifically ask him. But when people are really scared that they have cancer or some kind of severe illness, some people, not all, in fact, it's more rare than the other end when people are like, I have nothing wrong with me physically, but I am worried that I have something wrong with me. That is more common than the people who are like, I have everything wrong with me, but I am too scared to go to the doctor because I might have something seriously wrong with me, or I probably do. By the way, if you don't know, I am a doctor, so that's why this kind of makes sense, this conversation. But, you know, if you didn't know that, then it might not have made sense, but I feel like it did. Anyway, so this man comes in. His hemoglobin, which is like the blood in your blood. What? I always find it really hard to describe hemoglobin because it's like, it's a molecule that's in your blood, but it's like how much oxygen carrying capacity you have in your blood. So it's a bit more complicated than just saying it's your blood, but I've said blood a lot now, blood. But anyway, hemoglobin, most people know what hemoglobin is. If you don't have enough, you're anemic. His hemoglobin was less than 30, which means it was so low that the machine couldn't detect how low it was. Most normal people's hemoglobin is 120 to 150, right? And you start getting concerned at about 70 or 80. So you can go like fairly far without being concerned. This man's was like 20 something, less than 30. Like fucking hell, he was a bit far gone. Anyway, he had been avoiding going to the doctor, and as a result had come in severely anemic, and he did have cancer. His cancer was pretty like far gone. Anyway, that is a severe end, and very rare, but severe end of avoidance issues and where that can lead you. Maybe that was kind of scary. Like, I don't know why. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but oh well, I've said it now. I'm not going to take it out. I would say that I have other avoidance issues recently. Number one, finances. We're in a cost of living crisis. I don't know how, but I just don't have any money. Like, I really can't fucking understand it. It's like, I work as a doctor, I work as a locum, yet I still don't have any money. Like, where the hell does it all go? I really don't understand it. So here I am, just money flying out of my bank account, left, right, and centre. I do kind of get it, like, but also everything's so expensive at the moment that your money just doesn't go as far, and it just, I don't know. Anyway, I've cancelled a lot of subscriptions, not that you care, but my finances over the last few months in particular have been abysmal, and that is an understatement. So, I mean, it's not that bad. You know, I haven't got the bailiffs at the door, but I have had a debt collection agency contact me because I avoided my problem. We'll get onto that. I hate debt collection agencies. So that was like, when it goes to a debt collection agency, that's when I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'll pay, okay, fine. It can also manifest in like avoiding arguments or conflict. Let's get into my little stories. My situations, I've written. My situations. Number one, tax. I had a tax, I don't want to say rebate because I didn't get the money. I had a tax issue where apparently I didn't pay enough tax. Not my fucking fault. The government, HMRC, fucks it up. I was very annoyed about this. Still am, clearly. Anyway, I owed them thousands of pounds. Like, I am paid with my tax already deducted. So it's like, why couldn't you just get it right? Like, how, that is literally your job. How did you not get that right? So that really fucked me off. I'm swearing a lot. I'm sorry. But it really pissed me off. So in a way, I was kind of like, I'll be honest, I've paid it now. Okay, but we'll get to that. I just want to make that clear. I have finally paid it all off, apparently. So in a way, I was kind of like, I don't feel like I should pay it, which I know is a bad start, but it was like, you fucked this up, not me. So I felt very annoyed at the whole situation. Like, this is a you problem, not a me problem. And I know that's not a great way to go about solving your problems. But alas, that was my mindset, because I was also like, it came at a really bad time. I was really fucked off, and I was like, I can't believe this. $5,000. Like, it wasn't like 500 quid, which I could have been like, yeah, fair enough, whatever. £5,000. And somehow, I don't know how, don't ask me, nobody knows, it's an enigma. Somehow, my accountant worked it out. Yes, I have an accountant. Ugh, it's much better than me doing it, but also I hate it because they're like, oh no, we need like, oh, they just want so much information, and I'm like, please leave. Like, I just hate all of this money stuff. Like, I just want it to sort itself out. That's why I go PAYE and just sort it out, and I don't want to have to deal with it. I just don't. It's like, anyway, nobody came here to hear me talking about my PAYE issues, but it's pertinent to the story. Anyway, it was already a bad start when you don't feel like this is your problem. So obviously you're just like, well, I don't, I kind of want them just to wipe it off, just wipe the slate clean. How many people are avoiding tax? Millions. And the rich people who are avoiding tax, who there are less of, but they're saving millions. And here I am, $5,000. I was like, for fuck's sake, just clear it, boy. And I was not in a happy space for that bill to come through the door. So I avoided it, to be quite honest. I was like, I came down here to avoid Tom. He hasn't been downstairs all day. Avoid him. Yes, I love avoiding. And yet, Tom's down now whilst I'm podcasting. He literally never comes downstairs. And as soon as I'm podcasting, the fucking man, the Tesco delivery man, pops his little head up and brings the food. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm in a really grumpy mood today. I'm going to be honest. I'm not like exceptionally happy. I haven't taken my antidepressants in 2 days, and I often find a decline in my mental health when I forget them. I don't know if it's coincidence or if it's actually true, if there's a cause and effect. I have a feeling, I don't want to be that kind of person, but I have a feeling there is some kind of effect, but also I don't want to be that person that's like, I didn't take my antidepressants for 1 day and now I'm depressed again. No, I'm just not really into people today. People, no, get out my life, please. I went to the gym. People looked at me and I was like, no thank you, sir. Please don't look at me. Just pretend I don't exist, just for today. And then tomorrow, you can look at me again. That's fine. So anyway, I avoided paying my tax for months. Basically, there was a reason I was avoiding it. Number one, because I didn't have a job. And I was like, if I can avoid it for a fairly significant period of time, then hopefully I'll have a job and then I can pay it off and I won't be taking it all out of my savings. That did not happen. Well, it did happen. I did get a job, but they kept harassing me for it. And then they sent me a letter to say, if you don't pay us within a certain amount of time, we're going to send it to a debt collection agency. And I was like, fuck my life. This has now reached a pinnacle. This is the thing that I was talking about, where it gets to the point where you're like, wow, now I can't avoid it anymore. So I rang them up and I was like, look, I just, I told them my situation, which I've just told you. And then they said, well, will you call us back in 2 weeks or a week maybe? And I was like, yeah, okay. A week had gone by. I paid them $2,500. I didn't call them because it takes 45 minutes to get through to HMRC. And I was like, well, I've paid them. Hopefully that'll be enough. That's like me. I didn't need to call them as well, but also I just didn't really want to. So that was a procrastination. Because that wasn't like an anxiety thing, that was just like I don't want to talk to them. So I procrastinated calling them / just didn't do it. And then they sent it to a debt collection agency. Probably because I didn't reply, because I didn't call back. And then that was like, they were like, fuck you. And I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, then I had to, I ignored the debt collection agency. They sent me a lot of letters and I paid off another $2,000. And then they sent me more letters. They sent me a lot of letters and I avoided them. I ignored them. I think they might have gone in the shredder. And I'm a nightmare. I'm telling you, I'm a fucking nightmare. I understand it. I get it. I am a nightmare. I'm fully admitting to that. No one understands it better than me. But alas, here we are. So avoided, and then eventually I'd paid it off, right? I paid off the extra 600. And then they kept sending me letters like, no, you still owe us $5,000. And I was like, no, I fucking don't. So I called them and said, please leave me alone now. And they seemed to be leaving me alone. So that's all good. But that could have gone quite badly for me because they did charge me interest. Not a lot. It was like £100. So I did also get a late fee. That was a fair amount, to be fair. That was £234. So these are my punishment for not doing it. Nearly £300, £350. Although I can potentially claim back that £230. But there are punishments for doing these things. And I've written down consequences here. I'd say number one, you just piss people off. And I fully get that I piss people off. But I have anxiety. I hate saying that. I have anxiety, so it's okay to piss people off. I know it's not okay to piss people off. And it's not that I'm trying to. It's that I am genuinely too scared to do anything about it. So unless you come to my door, I was kind of like, can you just like send the bailiffs and then I can... Actually, no, that would have cost me a lot of money. But in my head, I was a bit like, I would love it if someone just came to the door and said, I'm not going away until you do it, because I was just like, I just need someone to force me to do it. Like anyway, spear in my chest. So yeah, it pisses people off, and I think that's never a good start because people get annoyed. Like I said, you get a worse outcome. Maybe you get more interest. Maybe you have an untreatable medical condition. Maybe you get a worse credit score. Maybe, I don't know, there's probably some other stuff as well. Maybe you don't get a job. Maybe you have worse anxiety over longer term. I actually had a nightmare last night about something that I've been avoiding. So there we go, nightmares. It comes and haunts you in your dream. Number 2, in fact, I'm going to avoid this one because it's slightly dodgy legal ground that I'm not sure if I'm allowed to cover. Number 3 / number 2.1, my counsellor. I'm sorry if you're listening, but I'm going to talk about it. I've had a therapist for a while. I wonder if every human needs a therapist, really, or whether it's just me. But I've had a therapist for a good long time. I would say nearly a year. I don't know, quite a long time. Once every 2 weeks, not every week, too much. And I just didn't feel like I was getting anywhere with her. Also, money is slightly tight at the moment, so I'm just a bit like, I kind of need a break. And I really struggle to I don't want to hurt people's feelings, that's the main problem, and that's why I'm like, I avoid it, because I'm like, ooh, it's like I'm ghosting them or breaking up with them, and I just don't like doing it. And I think that's why people ghost, actually, is because they think, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings, so if I ghost them, then I don't actively have to hurt their feelings. They can just hurt them on their own with their brain and by my lack of inaction. But I mean, it's the same outcome, but you don't have to feel the anxiety and the negative consequence of doing the deed yourself. So it's kind of chicken way out, but also it does cause you anxiety either way, but less acute. The anxiety goes on for longer if you ghost somebody, I would say, but it's like low level. But if you say to somebody, look, I don't want to go out with you anymore, the anxiety is very short, it's just in that time period, and then it's kind of like over. But why do we always go for the ghost? Well, because avoiding is apparently the best thing in the world. That's why my brain loves it. So anyway, I basically had to dump my counsellor, which was really awkward. I used the excuse of money, which is not untrue. It's not true. But there is also the fact that I don't feel like I'm getting anything from the situation. I do, in terms of, I feel like I'm getting it's cathartic getting stuff out, but I feel like I need someone to give me some kind of CBT type thing. Because I have a strong avoidance problem, I need someone to help me unlearn that behaviour and other behaviours that I avoid, or other things that I avoid. And I feel like just talking about it just isn't helping. So there we go. Like I said, I just feel bad. I just have real guilt. So yeah, it ended a little bit not so great, so I feel like we're not in a relationship anymore. It was quite final. I don't know, was it final? I was basically I wanted to cancel the session this week because I was like, I can't afford it, but also I just don't enjoy them. Like, I don't look forward to them. Not that maybe you should, but like, I don't feel like I'm like empowered, you know? I don't know. So that's that. I feel very awkward. This whole episode, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, is making me feel a little bit like, just generally, I feel like I'm not like flowing as I normally would, and that's because I'm talking about problems that I avoid, and I'm kind of like, I don't really want to talk about them because I'm like so used to avoiding the problems that talking about them is quite hard, and it's not like free flowing like it normally would be. Also, I'm like in my quarter depression because of my lack of antidepressants, which I fucking hate saying, because like I said, I'm not sure not taking your antidepressants for 2 days is just reason to say that your mood is low or decreased or whatever. I don't know. So, okay, this one is ongoing and I need to sort it out. I need to, because it's just causing me stress every day. I am stressed about it. I had a nightmare about it last night. Let me tell you my nightmare. My nightmare is that I was on some kind of trip. This young girl, she's like 11 or 12, injures her neck, but she won't stay still. She won't like let me put her in a collar, like to immobilize her neck. She won't stay still, and her parents are like, woo, whatever, fucking yeah. But we're like in the middle of nowhere, like it's not like we can just go to a hospital. I'm the expedition doctor. And then I realise halfway through this whole situation that I didn't get any medical indemnity insurance, and I'm like, fuck. And then that is big stress, because I'm like, the people who I was on the trip with, whose daughter it was, they are millionaires. So I'm like, well, they can fucking go to town on me, can't they? Not that they need to, but like, I don't have any money to defend myself, and I don't have any insurance, and if their kid then gets paralyzed from this, even though I said you need to stay still and stop running about and injuring yourself because you've had a neck injury, I haven't got any lawyers. Anyway, that was my nightmare. Those are the kind of things that doctors have nightmares about, if you ever wondered. Being sued, not buying your insurance, your indemnity insurance, those kind of things. And the thing that I'm avoiding is basically, I'm supposed to be going on this, it really pains me, and I'll talk about why. I'm supposed to be going on this expedition in probably like a few weeks, over a month, but not that long away. And I said yes, and I didn't really want to, and it's fine if you don't really want to, like I feel like I can push through that, but there are now so many factors that I'm like, oh fuck, because number one, I can't work whilst I'm on this trip, so I'm not going to earn any money. I'm away for 10 days, which is a lot of money not to be earning, especially when you're in a difficult financial position, as I still am. I'm like, well, fuck, I'm giving up at least 10 days of my life, if not longer. Number two, I haven't got a jacket or like the equipment that I need to go with, so I need to go and buy it, right? Don't have any money. £100 in my account. That's it. So where's that coming from? I don't know. Number three is that I need to buy the medical indemnity insurance out like from my account and then get it reimbursed. I need to buy all of the travel. I need to buy all of, do you know what I mean? All the stuff, and then it gets reimbursed. All of the visa, etc. But I don't have that money to even go out of my account. So how am I supposed to pay it and then get reimbursed? Like, I don't know. So I think for me, the financial aspect of it is just really like freaking me out. And I thought it was because I didn't want to go, but I think I'm realizing right now that it's because I am worried about, number one, I'm not going to be able to earn any money, and two, I'm also going to Boomtown in like a week or two. So I'm not going to be able to earn money in that, and I'm going to be spending money. So, and then I've got another thing where I'm doing the end of August, I'm not going to be able to work either. So I'm really fucked, basically. I have to work but like I can't, it's not like paid leave or anything. I don't have annual leave that I can take. Like if I don't work, I don't get money. So I think I just feel so bad. Like I hate cancelling. I hate letting people down. I hate saying no. I hate upsetting people. So I have been avoiding, and I know it's not good because realistically if I just say, I'm sorry, I can't do it, then because of money reasons, then that would be fine. But I think it's taken me a little while to realise that it's actually money issues. But also, I didn't want to just say, well, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. But now I'm realising, okay, it is actually because I don't have enough money to literally do it. You know, I don't have a jacket. I can't buy the train tickets to get there. Like, I'd have to put it all on my credit card and then I get charged interest, and it's just like not financially viable for me. And I've already been to Kilimanjaro. Like, it's not as though I need to go. I was just kind of doing it as a favour, but now I just feel bad. I feel so bad. And I hate letting people down, like I say. So, tonight, I need to write the email. And I tell you what, I'm a real catastrophizer, and I think that's where it comes from. I think that's where the avoidance comes from, because in my head, I'm like, if I let them down, the world is going to implode, and they're going to hate me, and they're never going to want to, like, they're going to be really pissed off, and they're never going to want to, have me on a trip again. So those are the thoughts that go through in my mind. Like, they're going to send me a really nasty email, like, you fucking bitch. Like, this is honestly what I'm thinking. Like, they're going to send me an email where it's like, you fucking bitch, you should have told us a long time ago. It's not a valid reason. Like, I just feel like they're gonna have a go at me. I don't know why. They probably won't, but that's my brain just being like, the worst is definitely going to happen. So, yeah. And I think that's where the avoidance comes from, because if you catastrophize about something and you go, this is the worst thing in the world is going to happen if you do this, then obviously you're going to want to avoid it, aren't you? Ooh. There's another thing that's like, people avoid emails and phone calls, me, but also people that I know. Oh God, the burning in my stomach. It keeps coming back in waves, and it's like, so I think there are some people that are genuinely busy, or like they've been away, or, you know, they've been up a mountain or something like that. But I think some people will say, yeah, oh no, sorry, I was just busy and I couldn't answer. But really, they're avoiding you. They're avoiding your emails, they're not replying, and they're avoiding your phone calls because for some reason or another. And I always think, like, that's, slightly me. I just don't always want to be on my phone all the time as well, but I am also an email avoider, and sometimes reading my emails gives me anxiety. God, imagine if anxiety just didn't exist. Oh, what a dream. Sorry, but can I live in that body instead? Like, where did all this anxiety come from? I tell you what though, as I've gotten older, my anxiety's definitely reduced. I don't know if that's because of drugs, age, or like I've just been giving myself some mental healing with therapy. I don't know. Or maybe I just see the world differently. But I think it's a bit of everything, to be honest. How have I overcome my avoidance issues? Well, I think I'm still in the midst of it, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm trying my very best. And I think one of the best ways that I've been doing it is, number one, I'm trying to get a CBT therapist, because I know that this is a fucking problem for me. But there are people that might not be able to afford therapy, but I do recommend, if it's a problem for you, like it is a problem for me, there's no harm in getting a therapist. Like once every 2 weeks, something like that. And really, what is the problem? I actually, thinking about it now, maybe you should start a podcast, because I come to a lot of conclusions in my podcast. I'm like, wow, that is why I avoid stuff, is because I catastrophize what the worst outcome in the world is going to be, and I think that's going to happen, and that's why I avoid it. And now, if I really think about it, she's not going to scream down the phone at me and, like, you know, send, like, flaming bottles through my window and, I don't know, set my dogs on fire or something. Like, it will probably just be fine. And yes, they might not employ me again, but, like, I'm telling them the honest truth. Like, I don't have any money. So, there we go. That's the issue. So how am I overcoming it? Now, the one situation that I can tell you about, the legal thing, right? Tom is in like legal situation thing. So I said to him, look, Tom, I just can't. Like it's giving me so much anxiety. I just can't reply to these emails. They are freaking me out. I can't read them. So I gave my phone to him, I gave my laptop to him, and I said, can you just reply? Because I can't. I just can't. And also, I didn't know what they were saying. I didn't know what to reply. I didn't know what they wanted from me. I didn't know how to reply. Like, it was so confusing. I just couldn't deal with it. So in that aspect, that was like one time I just gave it to him and I said, can you just deal with it, because I literally can't mentally. And that was the end of that. I wouldn't say this is a appropriate long-term strategy, guys, because number one, Tom is not always going to be there. You might not even have a Tom. Number 2, Tom is not always going to want to do it for me. Number 3, I don't think it really solves the problem. I'm still going to avoid things. And I also did this when I needed to take the money out of my savings account. I got Tom to do it. Couldn't do it myself. So I have used other people to help me through my problems a little bit. I want to get a therapist to try and stop myself to rely on other people. But I do think it's a good way to like acutely solve the problem. Like, how can I solve the problem here and now whilst I come up with better coping strategies? I think overcoming the underlying problem, so like managing your anxiety about it, is going to be the best way. Number 1, podcasting, or the equivalent to podcasting, where you don't have to publish it online and you don't have to say it all out loud, is journaling. Yeah, just literally write down all of your thoughts. Sometimes I come to some very grand conclusions in my journal. One day maybe it'll be published like Anne Frank's diary. Maybe one day it'll just be thrown in the bin. It'll be burnt along with my dogs, because that lady will be throwing flaming bottles through my window. And so yeah, I journal, but I do find the podcast very helpful. But yeah, I do journal and talk to people. They don't have to be paid for it. They can just be your friend. And the payment is your friendship. There we go. I would also say that other anxiety calming techniques are going to be really useful. So find your own coping strategies. For example, today I went to the gym. I do feel a lot better. Gives you just natural brain happy chemicals. There are also like other things, you can split the issue into like smaller tasks. If you think, wow, that task, I would say this is kind of different. Like if you're overwhelmed by a task, then splitting it up into smaller sections can be really helpful. But for me, it only needs like one thing and it's done. But it's like that thing feels so big and anxiety provoking, and I catastrophize about what the outcome's going to be, that I just avoid doing it. So I feel like if you can figure out which one you are, why you're avoiding it, is it because of like severe anxiety, or is it because it's so overwhelming, and you just need to deal with the root cause. So I need to manage my brain and go, realistically, what is the realistic outcome of me saying I can't do this trip, this expedition? She'll just be like, oh, thanks for letting me know, I'm sorry to hear about that, and that will probably be it. Like, she might be a bit annoyed, I get it, but I can't help my financial situation at the moment. I'm trying to work as much as I can and not spending as much money as usual. So, and these trips do actually cost a lot of money. Like, I know you get paid to go, I know they pay for you to go on them, but you still have to expend money to actually get there. And yes, it gets reimbursed, but you need to give up that initial upfront cost. So look, it's a journey. It really is. I am not fully there, but I am on my way to getting over my avoidance problems, because I think my life would be significantly less stressful if I just dealt with it. There we go. I think the other issue is financial avoidance. Is the thing is, they always say like, oh, just give us a call and let us know if you're struggling, but it's like, yeah, but I think that helps in terms of them knowing that you're not just avoiding them, which you are, but in terms of them being like, okay, we'll come up with a payment plan. But it kind of feels like I would rather just avoid this problem and hope that it goes away. Guess what, guys? It doesn't go away. It doesn't. Sorry for that heartbreaking news. There we go. I hope that's been helpful. I am so sorry. I'm not like the most lively today. But look, we're going to have our ups and downs. We're going to go through them together. And I'm not always going to be fucking bouncy and full of beans, all right? I may or may not have been avoiding doing this episode. No, I didn't. I was trying to get Tom to just try and get him to leave, like go somewhere. Leave. But he doesn't. He's just always here. So there we go. I need to get over that fear of having somebody listen podcast. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. Anyway, we've heard that enough times. Guys, if you liked it, please give it a like. I've got loads of other real fun stuff coming up. Yeah. And I think I'm going to do an episode on antidepressants, because I haven't just thought of that just then. I was thinking about it for a little bit, and thinking because somebody said to me that antidepressants are placebo. And I was going to do an episode on whether they are actually helpful. like going through the evidence. But like I'm not gonna make it as boring as like, let's go through the evidence. Like I'm gonna make it like layman's terms, like, but I'll do the research. And yeah, I kind of just want to know. But also, what's my experience been like with antidepressants and going on them and reducing the dose and starting them and stuff like that? Because I have some horror stories. So there we go. I actually did go sort of to hospital once. I'll leave it at that. Cliffhanger. Anyway, yeah, if you did like it, give it a like. Or give me a 5-star review, you know. Nothing more, nothing less, please, if you're listening on the podcast. If you are listening on YouTube, you can listen to me on the go. Just type in on any podcast streaming platform Backseat Positivity and it will come up. I've tried and tested it myself. It works. It's rather astonishing. And thank you so much for everybody who has given me a 5-star review. I fucking love you. I really do. Thank you to all my regular listeners. Like, super appreciate you. I don't know your names, but I appreciate you. You are but numbers on my screen. I know where you live, though. Is that creepy? Yeah. I know that I have some American listeners, so howdy. I don't think you're from Texas. And I have some UK listeners and someone in Germany as well, which is pretty fun. And yeah, so thanks so much for joining in on this fun journey with me. This might be, am I on episode 70 now? I don't really know. It's getting real close though. That's going to be a little milestone. And yeah, please share it with people. I upload every Monday and Thursdays, and the YouTube video comes out because if you are listening on the podcast, there is a video. Hello, you can watch me sitting in my front room like you're here with me, and that comes out on my YouTube channel. At the moment, it's about 2 or 3 weeks after I've uploaded the audio version because, look, we don't need to go into it. Maybe I was avoiding uploading on YouTube for a little bit, but we're back at it. We're going to keep going. All right. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I'll speak to you on Monday. Love ya.